If you want maximum FPS in iRacing without destroying visuals, these are my exact graphics settings for 2026. I'll show the settings, then benchmark them in dry and wet conditions with full grids. Okay then, so here we are in the iRacing graphics settings, so let's get into it. Starting at the top, we're focusing on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is for replays, so I've got that nice and high for screenshots and good for streaming and stuff. But with regards to the settings on the left for actual in-car, we've got sky and clouds at low because we don't really need that to be anything crazy. Doesn't really make much difference. Cars I've got at medium just because the textures look pretty bad if you have it on low. Pit objects, events, and grandstands is all fine on low. Some tracks like the Nordschleife, sometimes in the GP section of the Nürburgring, I would turn this off just to get a bit more FPS. So if you need to get a bit more, that is a good way to do it. But some tracks look a bit weird without the grandstands on. So yeah, it varies with that one. But usually I have it on low for most tracks. Crowds, no need really for me. And objects and foliage at low as well. These two settings also off. Coming down, these are just kind of visual things. Cockpit mirrors, sometimes I have them on, but again, if you want more FPS, it's probably best to have them off, especially if you're on a single screen. There's not really any need for them. You've got your virtual mirror for the rear view anyway. Yep, so off with those and off with these as well. Max cars, 63 for the sake of overlays actually working properly, but then draw cars I have at one of the lowest setting, or the lowest setting apart from minimum, so 24, and then minimum for draw pits as well, and hide car numbers is on there. I don't think that really does much though. I don't have the dynamic LOD on because I don't like the way that stuff pops in and out of picture, and it also doesn't really seem to make too much difference for me with regards to frames. I feel like everything just runs a bit more stable when it's not on and kind of changing stuff, so I keep that off. The shader quality switch is kind of influenced by what you select down here, so we'll ignore that really for the moment. HDR is off. Particle details on low. And then all this stuff kind of is just extras that obviously hit frames and they're not really necessary for the game to look pretty good, so I don't have any of these on. They're on low settings as well. Motion blur off. I like that on the replay mode for screenshots and stuff, but not for driving. Sharpening, I think, is one that I do always have on because it doesn't look sharp enough without it on, basically, especially in the cockpit, like the dash of the car. It just looks a bit blurry, so I always have that on. But then again, these aren't necessary, really, in my opinion, and they just cost you a lot of frames. Same with these other effects here. And then moving down to our anti-aliasing method, I've got MSAA 4 times and simple, which for me seem to be the most efficient but still look good. I don't have the frame rate limiter on because I find that it causes stutters for me, so I just leave it off. It's not really an issue for me. And then I've got an Nvidia 4070 in my machine. I've got boost on here, but yeah. And then we've got at the bottom the memory swap high-res cars on and the higher textures on as well, because obviously we want the cars around us to look good. It's one of the closest things to us. But yeah, so let's get into the benchmarks now and see what sort of frames we get running these settings.
Green flag, green flag. Car right. Still there. Still there. You're on the left. 3 wide. Right side. 2 wide. Car right. Stay on the left. Keep to the left. Stay on the left. Clear. Car right. Still there. Keep to the left. Clear. Car on your left. Clear on the left. Car on your left. Still there. Still there. Still there. Clear on the left. Green flag. Right side, you're on the left, 3 wide. Right side, 2 wide. Keep to the left. Still there, hold your line. Clear. Car right. Still there, hold your line. On the right side. Stay on the left. Stay on the left. Clear. Car on your left. Clear, left side. Still there, hold your line. Still there. Clear. Left side. Stay on the right. Still there. Clear.
So to wrap things up, these settings are all about consistency. I'm prioritising smooth FPS over max visuals, because in iRacing that's what actually makes you faster and safer in races. They're designed to handle the worst case scenarios, big grids, rain, spray, night racing, not just a clean hot lap on an empty track. If you're on single screen, triples, or something similar to my setup, this should give you a really solid baseline. You might be able to turn one or two things up, but I'd always start here. And remember, it's not about chasing the highest FPS number, it's about stable performance when things get busy. If this helped, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more iRacing guides and racing content. Thanks everybody, and catch you next time.